Oh my goodness, we're live, everybody. Welcome back to the Puppet Master Radio. This is Micah Phelps, your host. We got Kelly Suddreth up in Alexander County here with us. Say hello, Kelly.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good. But yeah, folks, we're back. We're back after 2 long years. You might remember us from the Patriot Corner. We did a bunch of great things with that show together. We were a massive impact in our community. Did a bunch of great things. But now it's time to come back. Come back with a new show, new lineup, new objective, new plan, new mission. And we're doing this all through our new show, The Canaan Report.
And what exactly is a Canaan Report?
The Canaan Report, well, we'll get into that. But before we do, we got to start our show off with a prayer. So, Kelly, can you begin us with a prayer?
I will. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you for all your many blessings, Lord. Pray, dear God, you be with each and every one of us, be with all the people out there, Lord. Pray, dear God, that you'll bless this show, Lord. Help it to prosper. Pray, dear God, that you'll watch over and protect each and every person, Lord God, that's involved. Pray that you'll be with each and every person in North Carolina Patriot Alliance. Be with Micah and his family. Watch after us. Bless us. Help us to do right. Help us to speak truth and transparency, Lord God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. When we did the Patriot Corner, we prayed at the beginning of every show.
Right.
Every single show. We had Ike praying. Ike should be here today. Ike, a lot of people wonder where Ike's at. Ike's sick in bed right now. He's got the flu, something terrible. He's been down about 5 days. Plus, he's running 5 businesses, building a building. Ike's all over the place. He wish he could be here with us tonight. So,
yeah, I met Ike one time. Super guy, great guy.
Yeah.
And all the shows I listened to, great godly man.
Yeah, he is, I've met a bunch of people in politics, and Ike's probably one of the best people I've met. Just loves his community, loves his family, loves everything, loves his values more than anything. Right. And him and I, we've been talking for about a year or so now to bring the show back, the Patriot Corner. But you asked what the Canaan Report is. There's a story out there, story of Joshua and Caleb. You familiar with that a little bit? Right. Well, we'll go ahead and tell it again just for everyone out there. After Moses freed his people from the tyrannical onslaught of Egypt and the Pharaohs, they, left the Red Sea and they wandered the desert for 30 years? Yeah. Well, they finally get to the land of Canaan. Well, it was occupied. Wow. Some people were living there. So Moses, he gets 12 spies together. He sends his 12 spies out, and they're supposed to go scout the land and come up with a battle plan of how to take this over. Right. Well, 10 of the spies came back, and they said, Moses, them Canaanites, they're too big. We ain't got it, Moses. They'll mop the floor with us. We just ain't got what it takes. Well, 2 other spies came back, Joshua and Caleb, and they said, Moses, they ain't nothing. We'll take them. We got God on our side. We got this. And that's Moses said, all right, well, let's get it. So he put them in charge of it. And next thing you know, they took over the land of Canaan and found a new home. So that's where we got the name of this show.
Okay.
We wanted to call it the Canaan Report to give reports on what's going on in our counties, in our state, in our federal level, help people understand a lot of the nonsense, make sense of it, because there's a lot of nonsense.
There is,
especially when you start talking about politics and governments, because everyone's got an opinion.
Well, it is, and it's the same in the world today. You send 12 people to go do something, 10 of them are going to come back and say, "Man, this can't be done. Yeah. This cannot be done." Yeah. But you're going to have 1 or 2
come back with a plan.
Well,
that's kind of like the business world. You ran your own business for a long time. The difference between good employees who show up and bad ones who don't. That's kind of like life in general. Sometimes you got some winners and sometimes you got people that, just can't get it together for whatever reason.
Right.
And I like to pray for those people.
We do.
I try to help those people too.
Yep. I like to help create, leaders and people that, want to help their community and want to get involved and want to do the things, that need to be done. Because there's certain things that need to be done, and there's just not enough people willing to stand up and say, "Hey, I'll do this. Yeah. I'll be the one." And that's what I try to do. I try to do everything with God on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And, I go to prayer and I ask God for his guidance in everything that I do. And I try to be as truthful and as transparent with everything that I do as I can.
Yeah. I remember it was over 2 years or so ago when I was giving all those speeches for like political leadership and stuff. One thing I'd always come back to is, the Holy Bible, like when you look at it from a certain perspective, it's the blueprint to become a great leader.
Absolutely.
A great leader. You've got all the wisdom in there, all the lessons, everything you need to really master the art of leadership.
Right. Yes.
Especially from a godly way. We need more people thinking along those lines out there, because everyone out there has been done wrong, been done dirty, been betrayed, been stabbed in the back, especially us. And we'll talk about that as we go through. But, I see like in your 40s and 50s, a lot of people struggle with, just the betrayals of life.
Right. Yeah, it's hard.
A lot of people struggle with that. Especially in your 40s and 50s, because you got to think your 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
I'm still partying,
Right.
You're young 20s. I ain't worried about that. I'm just trying to have a good time. In your young 30s.
Hard to get people, in their 20s and 30s to get involved.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. There's some great ones out there. I'm going to throw a name out there, a guy named Kyle Burns.
Kyle Burns.
Awesome guy. Patriot. And
he's up in Alexander, right?
No, he's actually in Wake County.
Wake County.
And so I met him through Liberty First Grassroots when I was a part of them.
Okay.
But he's a young kid, great guy, very intelligent, and is on the ball.
I love finding good leaders like that, because, I love to support good leaders. That's why I've been so strongly supporting Trump all these years. I mean, hey, 4 years ago, we were holding flag waves for him 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
We didn't have to this cycle, because everybody knew. Everybody knew, and they knew the fix was in, and we're not going to let them fix our country anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, you take a look at the difference in now and 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You exclude COVID, because COVID had a major impact, and that was beyond anyone's control. But you take, all the years that Trump was in office, everything was great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the economy was good, gas prices were down, everything was great. Then you bring in the Biden regime, and everything went to pot.
Yeah. That's when the vindictiveness started, the spitefulness.
And then the lawfare, and then all these trumped up charges, and, made up stuff. And
I know I've been experienced all that. Right. Lawfare, I've dealt with lawfare the past 2 years. We'll talk about that.
Right.
People out to get you, vindictiveness and spitefulness. Like, that's the stuff we don't want in our government.
I agree.
I agree 100%. I may not agree with like your average left winger, but I want to talk. I want to talk about the issues. I want to talk about how you see it, how I see it. I want some dialogue out there. I just don't want two people who hate each other on both sides. So in anything you say, they're just going to hate it. Well, let's talk. Let's talk for a little bit.
Yeah, let's sit down and talk. Let's have a discussion, disagree on something. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah. And
or maybe we can come together.
Yeah.
And solve the problem.
And that's what I want to do. I want to come together, talk in peace, talk about the issues. But we're coming up here on a break in 5 seconds. We'll be back here in a minute. We love y'all and miss y'all. This is the Canaan Report with WSIC. Welcome back, everybody out there listening. This is Micah Phelps with the Canaan Report. We got my man Kelly with us in the studio. Segment 2. It's time to talk about the North Carolina Patriot Alliance. See, a lot of people out there, they don't know that we have a statewide grassroots movement we've been putting together for about a year now?
Yeah, actually started about almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
So I started, you had Iredell County Patriot Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
I started Alexander County Patriot Alliance. And things weren't exactly going the way I wanted. And I thought, you know what? We need to make changes on the state level. And so let's build a platform called North Carolina Patriot Alliance. And you have all these independent groups that are separate. You know, they're independent. You've got a group here, a group there, all different names. Why not bring in the leaders from all of these groups and build a network?
Yep.
To where we can all work together, where we can all correspond with each other, and then, you know, have a base, have a committee, which we've got, and we have meetings and stuff like that. And then each leader from their group takes it back to their group and discusses. That way we're all kind of on the same page.
It was about a year or so ago, we really put it together.
Right.
And we had leaders from all over the state. A couple dozen, maybe 3 or 4 dozen or so. And each one of these people, they had thousands of people for which they represented. Right. One of the first things we wanted to do is kind of teach people how to become better political leaders, how to organize better, how to communicate to folks better. And a lot of them were doing it.
They were.
They took that advice, and now
they're still doing it.
They're still doing it. I was talking to, what's her name? Diana. What's her last name?
Diane Zericki.
Yeah, Zericki. I was talking to her on the phone the other day. She just wanted to call and say how proud she was we were starting this show, kind of give that Patriot Alliance a voice. But she was just so thrilled, you know, because who out there's taking a stand, who's trying to talk about the truth? Not too many people are. A lot of folks are just sitting on their couch complaining. Not too many people are stepping out there to lead. And I can understand why, because I mean, you don't want a target on your back. You don't want to be dealing with this. I mean, pull up a video of me 2 years ago on the radio, right? I had long flowing black hair. I didn't have no gray in my beard. Now look, I'm about halfway to where you are right now. I'm coming up on the gray.
And then we can work on it.
Yeah. One of the things I try to teach is how to manage the stress of leadership, because it's tough, especially when you're in it for the right reasons. You want to push your community back towards God, back towards freedom, back towards personal responsibility.
Right.
And some people out there, they don't want that. But that's why we created this Patriot Alliance on the state level.
It is.
Because, you know, we had the Iredell County Patriot Alliance. We did great things with that.
Right.
We did amazing things with that.
You did.
We ended mandates. We set kids free. We saved our history. We stood together and stopped the crime in Statesville. I mean, little kids were getting shot. Like every other week in Statesville. Now, since we brought the community together, do something about it, we ain't had one kid shot.
That's awesome.
You know, it's amazing. The crime, I'm going to get into this on segment 4, but the crime in Iredell County is down 50%.
That's awesome.
That's because we got Sheriff Darren Campbell. That man's a beast. His whole department, just warriors. We got Statesville, Chief Onley, Statesville Police Chief. He's just done amazing things since he's got in there. But we'll get in. We'll get there later. Let's talk about this Patriot Alliance.
Well, so
tell me about it.
So 2 years ago, like I said, that's when I created it.
Yep.
And then I got invited to another grassroots organization, and they asked me to be a district leader. And so I kind of put North Carolina Patriot Alliance on hold.
Yep.
And went into that, and I actually learned some things. Great person. That was running it. But it got to a point where I felt like in my heart, I wasn't achieving the goals that God had led me to do.
So you weren't having the impact you wanted.
Correct. Yeah. Was not having the impact I wanted. So that's when I spoke to the leader of the group. I told her I'm out, explained why. Nothing major. No. Didn't leave on bad terms. Just wasn't the avenue that I felt like I needed to go down.
Yeah.
And so I left and didn't ask anyone to, but quite a few followed me.
Then you called me up.
And then I called you up. And I brought you in.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to get me doing anything.
It was.
I was angry. I was hurting. I was put through the ringer. You know, we'll talk about that.
More than working on you, I prayed for you.
Yeah, he did.
I prayed a lot for you.
That meant a lot to me.
And I told you you'd be back.
I knew you'd be back. I know you did.
And got you in there, and man, you made an impact on these leaders that I already had.
Yeah. I just shared with them some stuff that I learned, fighting on the front lines and earning my stripes.
Right.
And, I didn't expect them to listen to me, but I guess something made sense, and now they're 10 times better leaders for us.
We do have some good leaders. In fact, on the way up here, Patricia Kulik called me, and
good girl right there.
she is. You talk about a patriot. That woman is a patriot and a fighter.
Yeah.
And the things she's dealing with on a personal level, and to still stand up and fight for her country, fight for her state, fight for her county, fight for other counties. I mean, this woman, she's a warrior. Mm-hmm. She is a true warrior. And I want to say thank you, Patricia, for all you do. I mean, North Carolina Patriot Alliance is heading in the right direction. We're creating a huge network. We're doing great things.
And now we got a radio show.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Now we've got a radio show.
Now we got a platform. And thanks to Justin over there at WSIC.
Thank you, Justin. And we want to bring some of you guys on here. I think we got one person lined up.
Yeah.
I mean, the 28th. Yeah. That's correct.
We'll actually turn this show. I mean, we'll teach people politics. We'll do segments teaching this stuff, helping people understand the complexity of grassroots leadership and stuff like that. And we'll bring folks on, talk about their triumphs, the impacts they've had on their community, because that's what we're here. We're here to bring people together, to create leaders, to teach them how to have positive impact on our political process, on our political discourse. Because it's like you said, it's just become so negative. I mean, it's just this side hates this side, that side hates this side. We can't sit down and talk. It's just, they're for something, so I'm going to be against it.
Right. And, you know, it's got to change.
It's got to change.
I fight against corruption.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're independent, libertarian.
And he's got suspicious eyes, so he's looking at everyone like they're corrupt. If you're in office, he's looking at you.
I do. I watch him. I'm not going to lie. And I will call you out.
Yeah.
If you're corrupt, especially if you're in Alexander County.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you out.
They know that too. Some people probably trembling. We got you on the radio right now. They're like, "Oh, he's going to get me.
They can tremble.
Kelly's going to get me."
But you know, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
And you can threaten defamation, but you know what? Telling the truth is not defamation.
Yeah. Now, if there's anyone out there who could threaten defamation, it's me. The crap people said about me, my goodness.
Well, it was threatened, and that's why I brought it up. And you don't scare me.
Yeah.
God's on my side. Yeah. The Word of God says, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper."
No, it won't.
And I stand on the Word of God.
Well, you got to think. We're fighting principalities in high places.
We are.
Because one thing I've noticed in my long, illustrious career of bucking the system, I see like this dark influence out there. And it really comes like when you start getting positions of influence, that's when the darkness is really trying to influence you.
It is. And people you wouldn't believe would do certain things.
Do
it. And it's hard to shock me, and we'll get more into it, but you know, we're working on incorporating Bethlehem in Alexander County. And certain people who I would have never believed, who shouldn't have said some things they said, did. Mm-hmm. And I haven't put it out yet.
Yeah.
There's a time and place. But I'm going to give them a chance to redeem themselves. Because, again, you know, arguing, bickering back and forth, it's not going to accomplish anything.
No.
And I would rather us work together and, you know, don't dox me, don't dox my family, etc.
Well, let's sit here and analyze for a second. What does war produce?
Right.
Destruction.
Exactly.
That's it. You're not building anything. You're not producing anything. All you're doing is trying to war and destroy.
Right.
Well, we got Trump coming in there in one more week. We're trying to bring about the golden age in America. And we're not going to have a golden age if we're warring against everyone. So we need to sit down, talk about the issues, because, you know, our governments, you know, God bless them. I know most of the bureaucrats in Iredell County. I know all the politicians. I know everyone.
Right.
Everyone out there, for the most part, is doing their job to the best they can. You know, they have daily responsibilities, daily duties. Like when you're doing your job every day, it's hard to think about what direction we're going in.
Right.
And that's where we, the people, come in. You know, we need to remind our governments what direction we want them to go.
Right.
And if everyone on board is going in the same direction, well, now while they're doing their jobs every day, at least we're going in a direction that's positive for our community. And that's what we want to get back to. We're hoping this Patriot Alliance, we can keep bringing people together, keep uniting counties out there, just grow our voice, just bring everyone on there. And we'll keep doing that, and we'll let folks know what's going on. But if you want to get involved with that, find my man Kelly here. Comment on any of our live streams we got on any of the various platforms. He'll get back to you.
I will.
If you're on the radio, find us on Facebook, WSIC. I think we're on X, TikTok. We got an app out there. We got a lot of ways to access us, but you'll find the Canaan Report too. If you're online, you'll find us real soon.
Or you can go to North Carolina Patriot Alliance on Facebook.
On there too. We got a group too.
If you're interested and want to help, come join.
Come join. We need it. We need some backup. But we got 5 seconds. We're coming in our second radio break, and we'll see everyone here in another minute. Love y'all. Welcome back, everyone out there listening in WSIC world. This is Micah Phelps, your host of the Canaan Report. We got my man Kelly Suddreth with us from Alexander Studio, or Alexander County in the studio today. And this segment, he's going to give us a report on what's happening in Alexander County. So tell us.
Okay, so
this is your segment, brother. It's for Alexander County. We love y'all.
It's been a little crazy over the last few months. Actually, the last month or so, it's been a little quiet. But so what happened? We had the primaries. So right after the primaries, our county commissioners decide they're going to pass the 2045 comprehensive plan in our county.
2045 comprehensive plan.
2045 comprehensive
which
plan.
is basically their plan on zoning policy and things.
Zoning policies and
the future of the country, where you're going the next 20 years.
Correct. So they passed that. Then I find out the day of the meeting next month that they're planning on rezoning the entire county. Someone just happened to tell my sister, who gave me a phone call, so I went to that meeting. There were 2 people there. 2. No one knew, hardly no one knew that they were rezoning the entire county.
Now, is it because no one told them? No one was paying attention? Why did no one know?
They didn't, in my opinion, they didn't give proper notice. Okay. So they ran an ad. According to state law, you run an ad in the local newspaper 2 weeks in a row. And that's supposed to be sufficient to let the county know that you're zoning. You're going to be having a meeting on rezoning.
I mean, rezoning the whole county, that is a big thing.
It's a huge thing, especially when I call and I find out that the subscriber base for the Taylorsville Times is only a little over 3,000, and you've got 30,000 people in Alexander County.
So they're only talking, maybe it was at 10%?
10%.
That's if everyone on there tunes in, which is a good chance.
If everyone read it.
You're lucky to get 30% to pay attention.
Right.
That's on a good day.
Right. So
now we're really only talking about 1% of the entire 100.
Exactly. So what they should have done was put up signs at every major intersection.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the transparent thing to do. That's what you should do. Even the people where they were planning high density housing, some of those people did not even get a notice. So then it became a back and forth going to the meetings. So we went to the county commissioner meetings. We had a big developer come in. They're building hundreds of homes. One's 400. I think it's like 700 homes within a 1 mile stretch on Rink Dam Road. And I don't know if you know anything about Rink Dam Road, but one, it can't handle the traffic. So you're going to have a traffic impact. Then they changed.
Well, you're talking about the traffic impact. Anyone listening down in Mooresville right now, you know exactly what happens when they put 700 units on a road that can't support it. And now you're sitting in traffic listening to us thinking about it.
Right. So you've got the traffic impact. Then you got to think about the school impact. So our elementary school in Bethlehem cannot handle that many more students. So what are they going to do? Are they going to bus them to another school? Yeah, that's not right.
We have that same problem in Iredell. We're like 5 schools behind right now, and we can't get our county commission to cut a check for it. Right. So if they bring in all these apartments, you got to build schools for it, and your county commission got to cut a check for it.
Right.
And your schools build it, but your county commission got to pay for it.
Exactly.
And it's hard getting them two to agree.
Exactly. So you've got that, but the biggest thing that they did was they even went against their own rules for this developer, and they held a meeting. There was over 200 people showed up, voiced their opinions at that meeting that did not want the high density housing and the 5-foot setbacks. So they wanted to change the setbacks to 5 foot. So if you stretch your arms out, right? That's approximately 5 foot on either side of the house. So you think about that for a second. You have a fire. Can a fire truck get in there?
LA. What's happening in LA right now? It's burning to the ground.
Exactly. So they want all this high density housing, and they want to use Bethlehem as their cash cow. So Bethlehem pays 1/3 of all the taxes for the entire county. Yep. We pay 1/3. And they want to use it. They want to bring in more housing. So right now, for you people out there listening, if you will go to the county website, look up the coding. Just look up the coding. You don't have to read anything else. Look up the coding and look. They can build 80 apartment units on 5 acres of land, 50 foot high, all the way up 127 from Lake Vista Apartments to Telephone Exchange Road. That's insane. I mean, that is.
And I take it you do not want these high density.
I do not want these high density homes.
You're not a fan of them.
Most people that move to Bethlehem move there because it's a quiet, nice, rural,
country
clean,
well, country town. Yeah, country town. But it's not a town.
And they want to turn it into a city. So there's this misconception that we, by incorporating, because we tried everything we could with the county commissioners to no avail, they ignored everybody in the meeting. They read from a pre-written statement. They just picked it up, read, it was already written, and passed it. Didn't listen to anything anybody said. Didn't care what anybody said. They had their own agenda. They passed it. So the developer got what he wanted. So then we made a move to incorporate. So we had to get signatures.
So you put together a signature drive to go out and get it to incorporate Bethlehem.
Absolutely did. You're required to get 15%.
15% of the number of citizens, right?
Of the area that's going to be incorporated. So we chose all of Bethlehem. There's a specific reason why we chose all of Bethlehem. One is, so if we did part of Bethlehem, right, and didn't do all of Bethlehem, then you've got extraterritorial jurisdiction. Okay, so what that does is that allows it allows the commissioners to set rules for people outside the city limits that they have to abide by, but yet they don't get a vote for who's going to be on the town council. So therefore, we just chose the whole voting block of Bethlehem 1 and 2 to incorporate.
Yeah.
And by incorporating,
you can set your own zoning policy.
Set our own zoning policy. There's a state mandated tax. It's 5 cents. 5 cents per 100, the minimum required by the state. And we've got some opposition. We do have some opposition on that.
So you face some pushback trying to incorporate Bethlehem.
We have. It's not the majority. It's a minority.
So now, to my understanding, they've been out there calling you everything but a child of God, correct?
They've done so much. I've received threats. My family's received threats. My distant family's received threats. I've been doxxed. My family's been doxxed. The time to be nice is over, et cetera, et cetera.
So they threaten you. They've come after you.
Oh, yeah.
They've tried to run your name through the ground, all definitely. Because you're, taking a political position.
Taking a stand for the community.
That doesn't want high-density housing.
I've already won.
Yeah.
Whether Bethlehem gets incorporated or whether it doesn't, my goal was to make the county aware of what the county commissioners are doing. They're ignoring the people. They're ignoring the citizens of Alexander County and doing their own agenda.
Do you hear that, Alexander County commissioners? He's saying you're not listening to him.
You're not listening to none of the people.
Do y'all want to come on, make a show, talk about this issue? I'd love to sit both of y'all down. I would. I'd love to have you on one side, county commissioner on the other, and let's sit down and talk about this, and let's get to the bottom of it and come up with a solution everyone's happy with.
I agree.
Because if not, they're going to keep pushing to incorporate.
We're going to.
And I guess you'll be running for city council.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to run or not.
We'll need you on there.
Just
to keep it honest.
Be on the interim anyway.
Yeah.
But look, I say we've won because now people are aware of what's going on, especially since they just found out that Taylorsville just annexed, I think it was 82 acres.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're building over 100 homes in that area. So this is not just Bethlehem, guys. This is the whole county. It's coming your way too. Alexander County, we love y'all. We got Kelly here keeping an eye out. We're going to keep giving y'all reports, but right now we got to go to our next break. We'll see you here in 1 minute. Love you. Welcome back, everyone. This is your host, Micah Phelps with Puppet Master Radio on the Canaan Report. We got Kelly Suddreth here from Alexander County in the studio. He just gave us an update on what's going on in Alexander County. It's a lot of nonsense, sounds like. It is. And now I'm going to give us a report on Iredell County, what's going on happening here. Things aren't too bad in Iredell County, believe it or not. About a year or so ago, a little more than a year, we had some issues in Statesville. Crime was out of control. Our police were not getting the support they needed from City Hall, not in the least. They really weren't getting it from the community either. I don't know. I want to say March last year, maybe, or maybe before that. I don't know. But we had, it was March before that. So it was almost 2 years ago. But we had one of the kids got shot over drug violence. We had another one gunned down not too long before that, but things were just getting out of control. And the police were not getting their support, so we ended up going down to City Hall. And we took an army with us down there. I mean, we had the school system come, the NAACP come, I came, Mark Men for Christ came. Like a lot of people showed out, like business owners. We had one of our county commissioners there, Melissa Nieder, she was in the back. A lot of people came there, and we came and we all spoke in one voice, the left, the right. Look, we're losing our kids. We're losing our communities. It's time to turn this around, start supporting our police. And I remember standing up there. I wish I had the video here. You can find it, but I got up there. I'm like, look, these kids don't trust our police out there, and their parents don't either. That's city life for you right there. Country's a little bit different, but deep down, all of us have a little distrust for the police. But I mean, things were bad. I mean, like you had your inner city people, like they really thought the police were out to get them. Like I was having this conversation with my boy Tony. This was in a very bad part of Statesville, what some would call the hood, the ghetto. But I'm talking to him, and I'm like, yo, Tony, well, what do you think about our police? And he said, man, they're out to get me. I said, what? Hold on, let's talk about this for a second. You think the police are out to get you? He said, yes, I do. Scared to death of it. And you know why he thought like that? Because this was during that whole George Floyd nonsense when you had all the news out there telling them the police were the devil and this, that, and the other. Well, some people listened to that crap, and they believed it, and the damage it caused them was just bad. But I remember down there, I was sitting there, I gave those people a voice, and ever since then, like our sheriff's department, our Statesville police, I mean, they have just moved mountains for our community. That's awesome.
They have moved mountains. I watch our Iredell County Sheriff's Department app every morning. I pull it up to see what the nightly arrests were and what they were arrested for. And these are good collars. Like they're getting people up there that are up to no good. Thieves, dealers, all the bad people out there that destroy our community. A lot of domestic violence stuff too, believe it or not. I was talking to a judge recently. He said that, while this inflation increased, so did domestic violence issues. Because at the end of the day, it's about the money.
It is. It always is.
Always drives people apart. But we went down there and we talked and we gave, a mighty roar together as a community. And I'm telling you, they have moved mountains. Like the police have been holding, what's the word I'm looking for? Like little picnics for the community.
Right.
They'll go to, the roughest parts
together, right,
just to try to win back the love of the people. And Chief Onley, I just want you to know, we love you, the job you've done. Justin, make sure we clip this out and send it to Chief of Police in Statesville. He needs to know we love him out there and all the men and women. They do a great job. They've hired so many people, and they've stepped it up.
And our sheriff as well has he's really been.
You got Chad Pennell over there. We're going to try to bring Chad on the show here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. He's doing a good job getting rid of a lot of. In fact, they just had a big drug bust.
Good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, getting rid of the meth and fentanyl.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the stuff we need to work on. I was talking to Chad Pennell's wife. Who else was that? Judge Young and Sheriff Campbell. I was going to try to get all three of them on, do like a little Law and Order episode, because like our judges, what this Biden administration has done to our judicial system has really hurt it.
Right.
A lot of people have a lot of distrust, and I was wanting to bring the judge on, just try to humanize.
Right.
Give our judges, put a voice, let them know that these are just people. They're trying to do their job, and they put up with the worst of society. They sit in a courtroom and you got crazy woman here and a crazy guy here. They're both hating each other. They're yelling, they're screaming, it's drama. And they deal with that every day. And they got to judge stuff like that. Right. And it's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not. But we were wanting to bring them on. We'll probably make that show happen. I think it'll do a good thing. Be real good for the community. But they did, the police, our sheriff's department lowered crime in our county 50%.
Right.
50%. That is, everywhere in the world you see crime going up. Well, every parts of America, but not here in Iredell County. And Alexander, too, because y'all got Chad over there. And he's really stepped up.
He has. He's done a good job. I think he's trying to keep the promises that he's made.
Yeah.
And, it's a tough job. It is a tough job. And it's easy, to sit and criticize. Even the county commissioners, I think, a lot of times in their hearts, they believe they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But they do need to listen to the people.
Yeah. And people need to speak together in one voice and let our government know how we feel. And our government can't be a bunch of narcissists and not listen to us. Right. We understand leadership has its responsibilities and duties, but you got to bring people together.
Well, they're elected by the people for the people.
Well, the last thing anyone wants from if you're in a position of government,
right?
I don't want my people fighting with each other,
right,
and trying to bring me into the middle of it. I want to bring people together so we can all accomplish things together, like lower crime, 50%.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's what happens when the left and the right sit down and say, all right, we see eye to eye on this issue. Let's take a stand.
Right.
That's where we need to get back to as a community.
It is.
But that's our report on our crime. Our county commission, we just had our elections. We had all our incumbents elected again: Melissa Nieder, Scotty Brown, Gene Hoop. Gene actually got the most votes.
Oh, wow.
Gene, I've watched, dude. People have been coming after Gene. He's ran a lot and he's been there a long time.
Right.
And people have always just treated Gene so bad. And I don't really understand it, because he's the one who really picks up the phone and will talk to anybody.
Right.
Why are you going to do the one commissioner we have who talks to everybody wrong? I don't understand that. But like I said, he got the most votes this cycle.
He's doing something right there.
If they would have followed tradition, Gene would have been chairman of our county commission.
Right.
Because for the longest here in Iredell County, there was just an accepted tradition between our commissioners. If you got the most votes, we would make you chairman for the next 2 years. I don't know why they didn't do that this year. Maybe we'll bring Gene on here one day and talk about it.
Okay, bring him on.
But he's also chairman of all the county commissioners. There's an association for all the county commissioners in North Carolina, and he chairs that.
Oh, okay.
So he's technically the chairman of all the county commissioners. So Gene does a good job. Our commission, they're running everything great. Our county manager, Beth Ma, I'm not sure what she goes by anymore, but she's done a great job. I was tough on Beth. couple of years ago over these mandates.
Right.
I even made her cry once, and I'm sorry, Beth. I didn't mean to make you cry. I just was given a mandate by my people to get our freedom back. You were the one in the way of that. But she's done a great job since then. She really has. She stepped it up. Most people would quit having endured all of that pressure.
Right.
But she's got a champion mindset, and she didn't quit. She stood strong, and our county has benefited greatly from it. It really has. What else?
A lot of people. Yeah, the mandates.
Yeah.
You know what happened in Alexander County? You know, went through that on the last.
Well, that's where we met, asking the kids up there.
But I think it threw a lot of people for a loop.
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually didn't know how to respond. They're trying to follow, the mandates set forth by the governor and by the president. As
we got our FOIA request back, there was nothing mandated by the governor. He just suggested it. What it really came down to is, do I want this ESSER money or not?
Exactly.
They took the ESSER money.
There you go.
But
that's the key.
Yeah. What else we got going on here? Our state legislators, we got Jeff and Vicky. They're doing a great job. Jeff brought a lot of money back to our district. Volumes here. Squeaking on me again. Am I right here? But Vicky, she's getting our roads down in Mooresville fixed, trying to get extra funding there. I think she's still on the transportation committee. I'm not sure. I'd have to double look that, but they're doing a great job. We just got another fella representing the south part of Iredell. Trying to remember his name off the top of my head. He was on our school board before. He probably not my biggest fan. I was a little tough on him 2 years or so ago, but I stood out of the last election. God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But they're doing a good job. The only place in our county that's not doing a good job is our school board.
Right.
And I would love to get into that right now, but next week we're going to bring on one of our school board members, and we're going to talk about what's going on in our Iredell County education system.
Okay.
But that's our Iredell County report. We're happy with everyone but our school board.
You helped get some of them elected, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Helped get 4 of them elected. But we'll talk more about that later. Huh? That's pretty much it. Iredell County report. What we got next on the show? Segment 5. That's going to be a fun one. So we're going to talk about all the crap we've had to put up with for the past year, just trying to sit on the couch and not bother anybody.
Yeah, I think you probably endured a little more than me, but
the crap I have put up with, folks, I'm telling you, you're going to be just baffled by the things I'm about to tell you. But it all happened, and I'm wondering who else out there would put up with that and still want to get back on the radio. I don't know.
A true patriot.
A true patriot, that's who. Well, we'll be back here in a minute. We love y'all. See you soon. Welcome back to WSIC, everyone. This is Micah Phelps, your host of Canaan Report. We got my brother, Kelly Suddreth from Alexander County in the studio. We just did 4 segments. First one was a welcome back. Then we talked about our Patriot Alliance. Then we gave a report on Alexander County and Iredell County. And now we're just going to try to explain a lot of the crap that I've had to endure the past year or so.
What all have you? I mean,
well,
start with.
All I wanted to do was sit on the couch and not be bothered by any of this.
Right.
We had just put in a 4-year tour of duty, bucked the whole system.
Right.
Our political class and our bureaucrats, they were not my biggest fans. I'm pretty sure they had voodoo dolls of me, and they were casting spells and sticking it and doing everything they could to make me go away. So I went away. I stepped back. It was Terry Sharp, fella who introduced me to Mark Man for Christ. Very good man. He said, Micah, what's it going to take for you to just back away and let the system do its thing for a little bit? I said, well, Terry, because you asked me to, I will. Just out of respect for you.
Right.
So I stepped back. I said, you know what? We scared them. We said what we wanted. We want our poor performing schools to be turned around. We want our crime to go down. We want people to do their jobs.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to criticize and I'm not going to get in your business and tell you everything you are not doing. So I stood back. Well, what's the first thing that happened? I stepped back. I get attacked in our little local news. They start putting out slanderous and defaming stuff, painting me as this boogeyman who's pulling strings.
Right.
And I'm like, I ain't pulling nothing. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm playing video games. That's what I'm pulling on is my controller. You know, I'm trying to get this W right here.
Right.
They put out all kinds of nonsense. I would pull up some of those articles, but we're going to pull them up next week when we bring our school board person here, because he was treated very badly too. The stuff he was put through. Next thing you know, I'm being taken to court by one of the people I put on the school board.
Wow.
They took me to court and said I was stalking them, harassing them, and all kinds of stuff when I didn't say one single word to them since the election. And you know what I said to him after the election? I don't want nothing to do with you anymore.
I don't blame you.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't care. Leave my name out your mouth.
But you helped get them elected.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just stabbed you in the back.
Yeah.
Which I've experienced.
Yeah.
So.
On your school board as well.
From a member of
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, I get taken to court along with another one of our school board members, and we have the fake news again, putting out lies and nonsense. Not one time did they call me up and say, hey, we're about to run this article. What do you have to say about it? Nothing.
That's not how they work.
Well, they knew my phone number, my email. They knew how to get a hold of me because I told them, I said, hey, you want to keep talking about me? Let's sit down and do a show.
Yeah.
And it'll be the most watched show in the county. You
Come on.
fantasize about me that much. Let's sit down and talk about it. But no, they just took me to court, lied in me in the newspapers.
Didn't they attack your business?
Yeah, I had a
locks?
Patriot store. I had to shut it down. Someone glued my lock on my front door. I come to work one day. I come to open it. And I go to stick my lock in there. It's not going in. I'm like, what is this? Someone put super glue in our store lock. They took a puppet because, you know, one of the news articles, they wanted to call me the Puppet Master. And hey, I'm cool with that nickname. Puppet Master Radio now, right? I'll take that nickname. Thank you, by the way. But someone did take a puppet. They chopped its head off. They put a nail in its heart, and they hung it on my drive, like in my parking lot in my business.
See,
That's evil.
That's evil.
That's
It's
evil.
pure evil.
That's evil.
And God had his hand on it.
Yeah. I mean, imagine going through that.
Yeah, no, that's rough. I didn't get through anything like that.
Not only that, I'm being taken to court. I go down there twice a month for 6 months, all for them to continue. Meanwhile, during this process, I'm like trying to build a business. I've got financial contracts I can't get signed.
Right.
Because I'm suffering nonsense litigation in the court that I can't even speak and represent myself.
Wow.
But continue. The last contingency, I didn't even get a lawyer in all this.
Right.
Like, I'm not wasting my money when I know didn't do nothing wrong.
On a frivolous.
I'm just sitting, like, I know the judges know what's going on. Like, they knew the whole story. Heck, one of them, I won't get into that, but like, they knew what's going on. This is lawfare waged against me. And what was I doing other than sitting at my home,
right,
trying not to bother anybody, focusing on things that mattered? But after 6 months, we finally, the other school board member, he had his trial, and I was lucky enough to sit there and attend that because, you know, they're sitting there attacking us in the fake news like we're Joshua and Caleb, but I was not talking about him at all. I was talking about someone else. But just a lot of disinformation, a lot of lies put out. And then they finally have their day in court, and the judge throws it out. It was Judge Christine Underwood, because, you know, Alexander and Iredell, we share judicial systems.
We do.
So when we sit down and talk about judicial things, I mean, this impacts both counties. But Christine Underwood, I mean, she finally was the judge who listened to everything. And, you know, at the end of it, she's like, this is a waste of my time. This is not what these laws were created for, to solve political disputes. That's not what this was. she threw it out as a bunch of nonsense, waste of time. We had all the local news reporters there, and I'm just sitting there looking at them like, I know y'all are about to write some nonsense, and not one of you asked me my opinion. You get used to that over time. But all that happened. It was bad. Then they say, oh, we don't have time for my trial. I'm like, so here we go again. I get delayed another one. I come in the following week or so, and the original judge who started it all, he was the one who landed the case. And I'll never forget the look on his face when he saw that they just dropped everything.
Right.
But they wasted 6 months of my time. They told this judge this story like I was after him. And now I show up. I don't ever get to hear the accusations. I get trashed in the fake news.
Right.
I've got people going all around town lying about me left and right. I remember talking to our sheriff. It was after that. And our sheriff, he said, Micah, you're the real victim in all this.
You are.
I was.
I mean, all you're doing is putting out the truth.
Yep.
And
they don't want the truth.
They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth.
When you build a reputation for telling the truth, for bucking power, for recruiting candidates and running people and trying to fundamentally change your government,
right?
Some people don't like that. They don't. So they take you to court. They write fake news articles about you. They try to defame you. They try to slander you. They try to do everything they can to shut you up.
Try to get you to spend money. They want to cost you money.
But thankfully, we have something none of them do. We have God on our side.
Amen.
And we've got Justin on our side too. So that's why he brought us back. Thank you, Justin. We love you, man. We can't wait to have a good time with WSIC, talk about these issues, and we're just going to do a good thing.
I'm having a blast already.
But that's what I've been dealing with for the past year, folks. So a lot of people have been wondering why I haven't wanted to do anything. Well, when you get treated like that by people that you crown, makes you feel a certain kind of way. But everything's in God's timing.
It is.
So we're back.
Pray for us all.
We're back. We're full of energy. We're full of the Spirit. We got great people, and we're ready to fight again. But we'll do so after this break. Be back in 1 minute. Love you. Welcome back, everybody out there listening. This is Micah Phelps with the, I want to say Patriot Corner, but I know it's Canaan Report now.
Yeah.
But this is Micah Phelps with the Canaan Report. We got Kelly Suddreth from Alexander County here in North Carolina Patriot Alliance too. Very influential man across the state and in Alexander County too. This segment, we're going to talk about bad political behavior, what it is, why we shouldn't be doing it, how we can fix it, how we can rid our local governments of bad political behavior so that we could get better representation in the process.
Definitely.
Because that's what we want at the end of the day. We want to sit everyone down and come up with things that we all agree on so that we can be governed in the best effective way possible.
Right.
Makes sense, don't it?
100%.
Shouldn't we be doing this all over the country?
All over the country.
All over the country. Well, we got Iredell and Alexander covered, right?
We do. Got them covered.
And we got other counties too.
We do.
Rowan, we got a big block of support out there. Big old block. They actually asked me to come up there and run for office.
We've got a lot of support on the East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast. We got some warriors on the coast. I'm ready to go vacation over there. Yeah. Once it gets warmer, tell them I'm gonna come out, give a training session.
Do it.
Yeah. But bad political behavior. Kelly, go ahead and try to explain to everyone out there listening, anybody watching, some of the things you've had to endure. Because I know we've just sit there and touched on some of the things I've put up with.
Well,
what about you, brother?
With me, like getting the signatures at the polling station, was fortunate enough to do this during the election, so it kind of made it easy.
Great time to
great timing to get signatures.
Yeah,
because they're all
coming to vote, and they're all voters. Registered to vote.
Right, they're all registered to vote.
Yeah.
So I'm out there. People come up, record me. Got called some names. I'm not going to call out anybody's name.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
You're on the radio there.
One person came flying up to me with his phone, said, "You lied to this man. I recorded you. You I mean, he's up in my face, and I'm having to back away. And I said, look, we'll have a discussion, a civil discussion.
Don't be disrespectful.
Right. But I'm not going to be controversial with you. Yeah.
You want to fight? You come at me looking for a fight. Like, come on now.
Right.
Come at me correct.
And I said, you want me to hear this? I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
I said, let's walk over here. He said, no, we're going to do it right here. I said, well, let's do it right here. Play it. So he plays it. I said, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's the truth. And so that night, I'm not going to go into details, but I sent him the law on exactly what I said and that it was the truth.
Yeah.
But then they went on the GIS. Now that's a public site. You can do it. And they put the addresses of my family, showed where they lived, made remarks, let's show up on their doorstep, etc. To the point that I did call the sheriff and told him, when somebody shows up on my doorstep to harm my family or any member of my family, I'm going to defend myself.
Yeah. Things shouldn't come to that, though.
They shouldn't.
Like, why are this is 2024, 2025 now. Why are we acting like children, folks? We're supposed to be the adults in the room.
Exactly.
We're supposed to sit down like gentlemen and talk about stuff, not act like little kids.
Well, I mean, I talked to him and I said, look, is there any way we can sit down and come together on this?
Yeah.
No.
So you want war?
The answer was no.
You want war.
So I assume, okay, then you're for high density housing.
Yeah.
Right? No, we're not. Well, you wrote the Bethlehem plan. That's on that same website, Alexander County website, the Bethlehem plan. But 12 individuals wrote it from Bethlehem. Yeah. And their friends and family. So that's the opposition. That's who the opposition is.
Yeah. It's a small group of people.
Right. Small group of people.
But they ran your name through the mud.
They did. And even my sister, they ran her name because she fought. And then my brother-in-law, who ran for county commissioner, John Wisnett, great guy, upstanding.
You're going to win next time.
Child of God.
Run again, John. You're going to win.
As far as I know, he's planning on running, and I do believe he'll win.
That'd be a good
one of the most loyal, honest men I've ever met in my life. And
I remember when all y'all first came in my store shopping.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we'd be on the radio?
But, I mean, he had said nothing. He wasn't even involved.
Yeah.
And they were dragging his name through them.
Yeah.
So, it was my entire family.
Well, what it is this is the bad political behavior, okay? People, they don't want to like you. They want to find reasons to hate you.
Right.
So anything you do, anything you try to do, anything you're for, they're going to be against it.
Right.
Well, what logic does that make? You're letting emotion drive your decision-making, your judgment.
Yeah, do that.
I'm just going to hate someone. So all the good he's trying to do for our community, I'm going to make sure he doesn't get through with it.
Right.
Because I want my community to suffer as long as Kelly don't get an attaboy.
Right. Well, see, I love my community.
Me too.
I coached kids in football for 12 years. I was actually on the rec board for a short time.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things in my community.
You have?
On 2 businesses in my community.
Yeah. But don't have a political opinion.
Yeah.
That's crossing the line. All right.
I don't get to have a
you can coach kids, but you can't have an opinion on how we should be governed.
Right. And, I love my community. And to put out lies like, we want to stop hunting, we want to hurt the farming. No, that's what we want to protect. If we didn't want to protect the farming and protect the hunting and protect the rural atmosphere and the small town atmosphere, why would we incorporate?
Like, are you really going to tell me that a man who comes on the radio wearing a Trump hat, who's been putting up with abuse for days fighting for our liberty, is scheming to take it away?
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
It's not the case. We are fighting for the farmers. We are fighting to keep the hunting. You keep building the high density housing, you're not going to have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be no hunting. There's going to be no farming because you're going to have stack housing all through Bethlehem.
If you want to know what that looks like, just go to Mooresville.
Yeah, we'll go to Hickory.
Hickory, Mooresville, bad.
Mooresville.
It takes half an hour to get from one exit to the other down there. I mean, it's terrible. But it sucks because they have all the good food down there. You know, I love eating.
But
I love some.
I've had, I'm not going to say his name, but I had a member of the school board. So we were at a district convention. He's going to know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We're at the district convention, and we're there, and GOP leader tried to prevent me from being a delegate, and they didn't give proper notice either. So I proved my case to the credentials committee. By the way, there's a credentials committee for a reason. So they approved me being a delegate. So Alexander County GOP, and we'll get into that later, didn't want me to be. So they took a vote. They took a standing vote. And this school board member that I helped get elected stood up and voted for me not to be a delegate. After hugging my wife and my sister and telling them how much we loved them.
Thank you for your support and all your backing. I'm going to stick a knife in your back now. Some people do that.
Right.
And this comes down to the bad political behavior. You know, I don't know if I've said on the show or we were just talking, but, you know, I've seen like when people finally get a title that they've always been wanting for,
right.
Well, that's when the darkness really starts to
it does.
come after you.
It does.
I've always said, like, if you have any kind of vindictiveness in your spirit, any kind of treacherous ways, when you get, you know, your titles and your responsibility, it just amplifies that vindictiveness.
It does.
It really does.
And, power goes to some people's heads.
Yeah. But, like, we need to do better, folks. We can't be trying to knife everyone, trying to slander them and defame them. We need to have intelligent conversations about the issues impacting our community.
Yeah, pick up the phone, give me a call. My phone number is easy to find.
Yeah.
I mean,
he ain't hiding.
Simple.
He ain't hiding. I ain't hiding either.
Most people have my number.
Yeah.
Or hit me up on Facebook, Messenger, anything.
Be like Gene
I'm
Hoop.
easily found. Found.
Be like Commissioner Gene Hoop. He always picks up the phone.
I'll be glad to have a conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
Hey, those that are opposed, you want to come on this show?
Yeah.
I'll come on the show. I'll represent one side. You sit in the other chair.
I would love to do a show. We get the people who are against this zoning.
And we'll discuss it.
I'll sit in the middle.
We'll do it civilly.
I'll be a good referee.
Right.
I won't take sides because I'm a free market guy at the end of the day. I don't believe in any zoning.
Right. I wanted the people aware. I've already won.
Yeah.
So if it comes back for a referendum, where the community votes on it.
Well, by doing all this.
That's fine too.
By doing all this petition drive, you've also been growing up a list of people to communicate in your district too. So you got a very big voice.
Got a very big list.
And now you're on the radio.
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure everyone gets an access to this show, right?
Yeah,
so they know we're speaking up for you, fighting for
100%.
you. But bad political behavior, vindictiveness, spitefulness, lawfare, pretty much all the stuff I listed in the last segment that I've suffered, that's the bad stuff, folks. And we don't need to be doing that.
No.
We don't.
Talk. Let's just talk.
Let's talk about the issues. Let's talk about, why Iredell County's poor performing schools numbers is only increasing. That's a good conversation to have, right? The future of your education system in your county, whether it's succeeding or failing, that's something we should be talking about.
100%.
The left and the right.
Why is one school in one part of the county doing great and another school in the other part of the county doing terrible?
Yeah. And that's what I want to do.
Let's find out.
I want to bring on all sides, sit down, let's talk. Let's get to the answers. Let's get to the solutions. By doing that, guess what improves?
Improves education.
Iredell County's future. And that's what we're fighting for. And we've always been fighting for it. And we'll never stop fighting for it. So you can go ahead and keep putting slanderous news articles about me. You can sign my email up to all the fake nonsense you've been doing. You can slander me. You can say I'm this. You can say I'm that. But we're going to talk about the issues. We're going to have a talk about them. And if you don't want to talk about them, we'll put a picture of you and say they didn't want to show up and talk about them. And we'll keep talking.
That's it.
Well, we're going on to a hard break. We'll be back here in another minute. We love everyone out there. This is WSIC. Welcome back, everyone out there listening. This is Micah Phelps with the Canaan Report. We've got Kelly Suddreth here, Alexander County, North Carolina Patriot Alliance. Very influential man. He don't put up with no nonsense either. There's one thing I know about Kelly. This is a no-nonsense individual. He ain't going to talk just to hear himself talk. He's going to talk 'cause something needs to be said.
I do.
And you got to love a man like that.
But I don't hate anyone.
No.
No one out there I hate.
Even the people who do us wrong.
No, I don't hate them.
We don't hate you, but we'll laugh at you in your wicked ways. And we'll expose them. We'll talk about them. We'll bring them to light.
Absolutely.
Well, this segment, we're going to talk about the Republican Party. State party, county parties. We got a lot of issues there across North Carolina. We just we got clobbered in our statewide elections. Clobbered.
We did. Bad.
Just clobbered. We kept control of the legislature because I don't know how they have them drawn, but
yeah, we did do that.
How do we keep almost a super majority in the legislature and do so terrible in statewide races?
I don't have an answer.
I do. I've got lots of answers for that.
I mean, it starts, in my opinion, it all starts with the GOP.
Yes.
It starts at the top.
Yep.
It starts with
leadership.
Yep. In the GOP. Yep. And my personal opinion is I think some of the races were lost because the GOP didn't care.
Nope.
They absolutely did not care.
I don't know if it's they didn't care. I think it's more they don't know what they're doing.
Well, they absolutely don't know what they're doing. So you got Michael Whatley, who was a North Carolina GOP chairman, right? And you got Susan Mills, who's
now Whatley's the RNC.
Right, that's where I'm going.
Chair.
So Susan Mills was never even elected.
Mm-hmm.
Know that.
She just got appointed to fill the role after he moved or transitioned.
No, she got appointed to vice chair because they didn't have time for the election.
Is she chair now?
No.
No.
So
I'm not caught up today.
Jason Simmons took Michael Whatley's place.
Okay.
Michael Whatley got promoted to the RNC.
Okay. Well, I'm looking like I'm just watching our elections, all right? And Trump had his Trump Force 47, right? They were rocking and rolling.
They were.
They were door knocking. They were doing stuff, weren't they, as far as I know?
Yes.
I never signed up for it, but we had people who did, and they told us.
I got phone calls from them and everything.
Okay. Else. Okay. Yeah. I stayed out the last election.
Right.
I voted. It's about the maximum impact I put in. So anyone who thinks I'm out here taking sides, I'm not.
Right. But we did, somebody who was really involved, great patriot. I want to mention his name because we lost him this year. Alan Poindexter.
Yeah, Alan.
So he did work with Trump 47.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great patriot, great man.
His death was just sudden. No one expected it.
Right.
Sad.
And he wanted to be big in his county GOP. And I think he felt ostracized.
Yeah.
And no one should feel that way. No. If whether you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever, your party should be accepting of you.
Let's talk on that for a second here, because I've been involved. Like that's all I've worked out of is the Republican Party.
Right.
All I've done politics because my values align more with where they tend to go.
Right.
Especially with Trump in there. But I have watched in many states and many counties, about every 4 years, every presidential election cycle, you'll have some candidate who runs for president as a Republican or Democrat. And they'll get a following. They'll activate people who were last week sitting on their couch. This week, they want to get involved because they want to see their man elected, of course, but they just want to be involved. They want to be a part of something. They want to contribute. They want to have an impact.
Right.
The Republican Party, every 4 years, when these new people decide to involve themselves, from my experience, the Republican Party does everything they can to keep them away.
They do.
Everything they can to keep the new base, like your new activists, your new people who's going to do all this stuff that you've been doing for years and you wonder why you can't get anyone involved. You're ostracizing those people who want to be involved. Meanwhile, the Democrat Party, any freak who shows up with purple or pink hair, they're putting them on a pedestal like, yeah, we love you. Come on. We don't care if you don't know what gender you are.
Yeah.
We don't care. Come on. We'll accept you. We'll take you in. And they take any freak off the street. But Republicans, they don't let anyone in.
No.
No one.
You have to be part of the ball.
You don't make us feel like you want us involved.
Right.
So if you make us not feel like we want to be involved, what's that create out of us? People, suddenly we're not good enough for you. Well, I'm going to start looking for ways that you're not good enough for me.
Right.
And now you got conflict. Now you got war. Now you got people.
And there is a major, people don't realize how big the split in the Republican Party is. You've got your grassroots Republicans, and you've got your establishment Republicans. And the grassroots is
tired of it. We're tired of it.
We are tired of it.
We're tired of it.
And you can't win without us.
No.
I'm going to let you know. You cannot win
but we can't,
without the grassroots.
We can't win without them either.
No, we can't. So something is going to have to be done to bridge that gap.
And, you know, the first thing you do is we need to have a talk about how the Republican Party just treats new people so terrible. So terrible.
It's bad.
It's very bad. So we need to think on that.
Well, I think the thing, in my opinion, that needs to be done is we need new leadership at the head of North Carolina GOP, period. New leadership, and that includes chair, vice chair, and the entire slate.
So you just want to sack them all, huh?
Every one of them.
You know, we've done that in Iredell County the past 2 conventions.
And not because of hatred, but because there needs to be change. And we need leaders in there who are going to write a new plan of organization that starts at the state and has to be followed all the way down to the county level.
But the county level, they've done showed they're not going to follow the rules.
No, they changed the rules
today.
Right, they changed the
rules. They're not going to follow them today.
So if they don't follow the rules, they should be removed.
State party has that authority, don't they? They can remove county people, but they're not going to. They don't want drama.
Until something like that's done, you're not going to have people interested, everyday people interested in being a part of the GOP. That's why you're seeing grassroots groups spring up everywhere. That's why you're seeing men's Federation Republican groups popping up in other counties. You got one here in Iredell County.
That's why, in my opinion, we did so good here in Iredell. Because, you know, I bucked them all.
Right.
We'll create something new out here, and we won't have nothing to do with none of y'all.
Exactly.
And everybody loved it. We were impacting elections, determining winners and losers, setting policy, pulling up crowds. Anytime I went anywhere, and we get 200-300 people show up.
Right. Well, people have a misconception that MAGA is Trump. No. Trump started MAGA. He came up with the phrase. But MAGA's not Trump.
That's just the feeling in all of us.
Right.
We all want our country to be
right.
great.
We all want America to be great again. And Trump's got 4 years. And when Trump's gone, whoever the presidential nominee is, it's still going to be MAGA.
I don't think it'll matter after 4 years. Trump won't do such a good job.
I hope so.
I do too, man. That's why we're here on the radio. We're going to back him up. So when the little fake news out there starts lying about Mr. Trump, we're going to come on here. We're going to do a show, and we're going to defend that man.
Yeah.
And anyone else out there gets picked on.
I agree.
We don't 100%. Like that. If there's injustice out there, we tend to stand up against it.
And there's a one, like I said before, is coming on this show who is getting picked on bad right now. We'll keep it quiet right now.
Yeah, we'll keep that quiet. We only have a little bit of controversy on the first show, just a little bit. I'm sure I've irritated. I know I've irritated someone.
Oh, I'm sure I have already today.
And I just want you to know I've only started. We're going to have some fun here.
We're being nice.
But yeah, the state party, we got a convention coming up here. We got county conventions coming up. I'm going to try to bring someone in here locally from our party to talk about our convention process. And I know you have them up in Alexander too. We got a state convention too. We're going to have new party leadership. It's going to be a great time to talk about this stuff. So we'll talk more about, you know, what our parties, because I'd love to see a strong grassroots arm of the party where they go through and they fix this problem of turning away new people. You know, I'm of a mindset we need to be bringing these people in and training them, teaching them the way of the force, teaching them how to win, teaching them what conservative values are, teaching them what Republicans should be fighting for.
I agree.
Because the only person I see out there fighting is Donald Trump and Kelly Suddreth.
Well, Micah Phelps.
Nah, I ain't been fighting. I've been sitting on the couch.
Make sure out there that you're at the February meeting, the GOP meeting, the February meeting. Be there and be at the March convention. Make sure you're at the February meeting.
Oh, well. We're going to a hard break. We'll be back here in a minute. We love y'all. Bye-bye. Welcome back, WSIC World. This is your host, Micah Phelps with the Canaan Report. We got Kelly Suddreth from Alexander County here with us, the North Carolina Patriot Alliance, and the most fierce fighter Alexander County's ever seen.
I don't know about that.
You don't. I know about that.
I try.
You may not believe it. I do.
I just want to say thank you to Micah while I'm on.
What are you thanking me for, man?
Because you inspired me.
How?
I came down before I got involved in all this. I came down to your Patriots.
Yeah.
And we got to talking about the January 6th and some other things.
Which we were all right about,
Yeah.
by the way. So Agent Sutherland with the FBI, when you came to my house and I told you the truth, it all turned out true, didn't it?
Yeah. And so
I know he's watching too.
I was thinking about something.
I know they're keeping contact of all my phones, so watch what you text me, folks.
Right. But you inspire me. You inspire me to, take a stand. And I get asked the question, especially by my family, why you? Why do you do this? Why does it always have to be you? Why are you the one speaking up? Guys, I don't hate anyone, but if not me, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
If someone out there wants to do it, come on, help me. I welcome the help. But Micah really, truly inspired me.
I appreciate that.
Something in my heart just bonded with him. And like I said, I try to follow God, and I believe he's a man of God. And my spirit bore witness with his. I believe him to be an honest, truthful, good, country, loving, patriot man. I can't say anything bad about him. I don't know of anything bad he's done.
Oh, I'm sure.
If you're telling the truth, you're doing it right. Now, we've all done bad things. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying?
Give it time. Someone going to call you up and say, this is something bad.
But in my opinion, you're tops, dude.
Appreciate that, man. Means a lot to me, Kelly. I got a grown man here basically crying, saying how much of an inspiration I was to him. Like that. That makes it all worthwhile. And to see that you've just laid waste to Alexander County and fundamentally changed like the whole conversation up there. And that come down to, basically the principles that we taught you. Principles that were written in your heart. We've had a lot of talks about the stuff you've gone through as a man and how it shaped you and how it's made you for this. Right. But those principles, it takes a strong spirit to do this.
It does. It takes the word I'm looking for. Got to carry yourself with confidence.
Yeah.
You got to have confidence.
Yeah.
And if you lack confidence, then you're not going to get very far.
Who's going to follow a squeaky wheel?
Right. You have to be confident. And I am confident. I'm confident in what I do. I don't ever intentionally put out a lie. Never.
Well, we had the conversation about, hearsay is a very bad thing, especially in like the political world, local politics. It's like, I trust this guy, so whatever he tells me, I'm going to believe it. Well, that's called hearsay.
Yeah, it is.
You're listening to hearsay from trusted people. Now, they might really believe that's the truth, but maybe they got it from some hearsay. So facts are very important, especially when you're trying to have conversations about real stuff. You need to be grounded in facts, in reality, and not hearsay nonsense. I just wanted to make that point.
No, you do. And that's why, somebody tells me something, I research it.
Yeah.
I look it up.
Yeah.
I find out, is this factual? Is this not factual? Is this the truth? Is it not?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I base, what I say on is facts. And you can rest assured that anything I say is factual. And I've got the proof to back it up.
Yep.
Might not always put out the proof, but I do have the proof. And if you want the proof, I can give you the proof. But it's the confidence, not only in yourself, but to know that God has you. God's got you. And no matter what they throw at you, they can knock you down. But they cannot destroy you because God's not going to let them.
No.
God's not going to let them.
He'll send some angels. Look,
do it.
We could sit here and talk about my little tour of duty a couple years ago. There were many nights where I sat on the back porch and I'm literally crying, like crying out to God. Like, I don't know what to do, God. I'm not strong enough. I need something. And every time I did that, the next morning I woke up and there was an angel with a plan.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Well, I had a person from the GOP.
Yeah.
Tell me on the phone, said, you're going to have a lot of sleepless nights, etc. And said you won't last. Well, I'm still here. And I really haven't had very many sleepless nights.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Because God's in control. And my definition of a win and your definition of a win isn't God's definition. So I've won a lot of battles. And
we're just vessels. We're just vessels. Like, when you're like a man of God, like you just said, when you look to God for leadership, direction, and everything that is good in life, you live your life a little bit different than the average person. You do.
Right.
There's also a component, like especially with the political leadership side. Like, one thing I teach is you're not going to get a very, very far leading without God.
You're not.
Without having a strong relationship with Him. Very strong. That's why I said earlier, you want the blueprint to become a good leader, follow the Bible. It's got everything you need, all the wisdom, all the answers, all the truth.
Land of Canaan.
Land of Canaan. Canaan Report. Yeah. There we are with our spies. We're scouting it. We're scouting the land. We're coming. We're trying, folks. We're trying. But yeah, man, it's
great.
It is. It's great.
I enjoy this.
Yeah.
Well, when people think that, this bothers me sometimes, and there's a few times it does, and I don't like being doxxed, et cetera. I don't like any of that.
I
don't do it to anyone.
I don't like my car tires getting slashed.
But I do call out corruption.
Yeah.
But I literally enjoy trying to be a voice for the people. I'm standing up for you. If you're out there, I'm standing up for you. I want what's right for you. I don't want control. I'm not looking to run for anything. I don't want to be a part of any hierarchy. I want the state of North Carolina, the counties in each and every county, to have great leaders.
Yep.
Who do what's right.
Yep.
Who have truth and transparency. So, guys, myself, and I know Micah as well, we're standing up for you. We're fighting for you.
Yeah. We've taken some blows. We've got stabs. We've got stripes to show for it. But yeah, man, it's good to be back. This is our first show, our final segment, man. Ike should have been here. Ike's sick. Kelly stepped up. I thank you for that, Kelly.
You're welcome.
We're going to do good things with the North Carolina Patriot Alliance, too.
We are.
We got some massive connections across the state. One thing I really want to do with that is start planning on creating our legislatures, like our next legislatures,
right,
for like 4 years from now, 6 years from now. Long-term planning right there. Because, when I look at our legislature, it's a lot of gray hair.
It is.
A lot of gray hair.
Yes.
We need some fresh blood in there, young blood with good vision, good leadership, good values, good characteristics.
100%.
Good morals. We need all that in there. We need some fighters, too.
We do.
Smart people. But we'll get into that. Well, we got 3 minutes. Next show, next week. Guess what I'm doing?
Let's hear it.
I'm bringing on one of our school board members here in Iredell County.
Okay.
He, in my opinion, he has been done dirtier than I have. Say again? Would you say wow?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, he really has been done worse than I have. I think some of it has to do with just because he was my friend.
I'm sure.
I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Remember how I said I've been enduring all this stuff, like my email signed up, taken to court, all this other stuff.
Right.
Some of our school board members have suffered the same thing. There's a reason for that, and we can't wait to bring him on here. I think it was about a year or so ago, him and I were, and other people too, we were fighting to get our poor performing schools turned around.
Right.
He was bringing in fresh ideas, new leadership, because currently the leadership in there, it's not working, or else our grades wouldn't be so bad.
Well, I know you totally overthrew the school board, right?
Yeah, we took them all out. Like, we just fired them all, put all new people in there. I'm starting to see how little impact politicians really have.
Yeah.
It's the administrators at the end of the day.
It is.
Take like your school board, your counties, your city government. Our politicians do very little. It's your city managers, your county managers, your superintendent. They're the ones who have all the responsibility, all the influence, all the authority.
Thankfully, ours is gone in Alexander County.
You got rid of your superintendent. Got rid of your county manager too, didn't you? I know you cleaned house in Taylorsville too.
Well, they resigned. Yeah. One.
That's a victory, though.
Yeah.
You got them out of there. But yeah, I mean, that's really how things go. We'll help explain all this for all our listeners out there so you have a better grasp at your local governments and your municipalities and how that works. But yeah, it's going to be a great show, man. I'm sure some people are going to say, no, don't do that show. Don't bring that school board member.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it, man.
I'm sure people are going to be calling down here saying, shut them up, shut them up. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. Will the truth be silenced or will it be told?
It will always be told.
Yes, it will.
Always come to the light.
Oh, I'm so happy to be back. Justin, thank you for bringing us back, man, taking a chance on the weird kids, I guess you could call us.
Yeah, thank you, Justin.
Kelly, thank you for coming on the show, man. Thank you for everything you do in Alexander County.
Thank you.
I know you take a lot of crap when you shouldn't have to. That's why we wanted to bring you on this first show, because you have a very big voice in Alexander, and we got a very big one in Iredell. Yeah. And when we work together, maybe we can do something about our judicial system.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Yeah. Well, we love y'all. This is the end of Canaan Report. Be sure to tune in next week. Take care. Love you. Bye.